How are you guys doing? Want to do a video here on NIO. So this is going to be ticker symbol NIO. Starting off here on Monday, very nice performance, up over 10%. Starting here on the weekly chart, so this is going to be dating all the way back to when NIO IPO'd in late 2018. We get a nice little picture of how it has been trending. And you can see here as we zoom on in, we bounced or closed right on this 50-day moving average last week. We closed right there, which was also right above that 9-day moving average, and we are already off to a pretty strong start here this week as we start to pop up above this 50-day moving average. The 9-day again is leveled off, starting to point up as if we are going to continue this run that we started, say, sometime back here in early or say later March. So with that under the belt, let's go ahead and dive on into the 4-hour time frame. And this is where we can kind of see more recent trading history here on NIO and see some pretty obvious support and resistance lines. So again, here was this decline that we are seeing starting back in late February, early March. We had this nice decline all the way from, we'll say, right around the 475 level. We did have this pop above 5, but around 450 to 475, all the way down here to the low 2s. And ever since, we've been making these nice little pops. Here's a lower high, a little bit of a pop, stabilizing, popping back up. It looks as if we have now a new lower high. And I also would like to mention that we're starting to see these moving averages, right? They now look as if they are pretty level, specifically the 200-day moving average. And it looks as if we're going to try and start a new upward trend. And I'd say one very important level to look at would be right in here around $3.50. Now, why am I pointing out that level? Well, let's look back. Okay, so back here in, what is this, late January, we saw a nice little bounce. Then early March or early February, we saw another nice little bounce. When we broke down through 350, we came back, retested it, and we could not break through. Just here recently, this is mid-April, so just a few weeks ago, we came up near it. We hit highs in the low 340s, but we failed to even touch 350. So now that we have trended back down, looks as if we've gained some support. We saw some nice volume in the market today, a nice little push of 10% today. So I think that this could be a nice little sign that we are going to continue up towards 350. Now, if we break through 350, I'm not too sure at the moment. I want to see what kind of legs this push could have. It could be that we get up to 350, it rejects it, comes back down to 340, and then has the momentum to travel through 350. So that's the first level that we want to look at here is 350. Then as we start to push on higher from there, we can be looking closer towards 375. You can see there were also some levels of support that we are seeing as we were trading anywhere from this would be late January all the way through the breakdown in early March. So you can see there's a couple bottoms right in there. Now to the support side, we can move it in a bit closer. So we can see right in here, we've got some support right around that $3 price point. And this was something that I had marked in my previous video here on NIO was the $3 price point. And again, on these penny stocks, those 50 cent and 50 cent and dollar increments are going to be supports and resistances depending on how you hit them. So $3 would be my support here. If we were to break back down, we opened up today below $3 a share. So if tomorrow we faded some of these gains, which I don't think would be a very positive sign, but if we faded them, $3 would be the support that I would be looking at. Some farther off levels would be down here, probably towards 275. So this would be 25 cents to the downside. Again, if we get down to this point, we're going to start to see the moving averages roll over, and we will mark this as being maybe a lower low based off of this low that we set in here. So those are some things to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and move into the hourly chart. This is what really caught my eye. What I was looking at was this nice little downward trending pattern right in here. This basically this descending triangle. You can see we actually dipped below right here around $3. This was last Friday. We dipped down into the low 290s, and then this morning we saw a nice little push and a break of this downward trend. So again, tomorrow I would like to see us either remain steady, build some sort of consolidation pattern, but not to fade back all of those gains. We may continue this run through tomorrow. As we approach these 340 levels, this would be a resistance that I would look at more on a short-term time period, would be 340, and then 350 would be that stronger resistance, as it was from a long-term time frame, 350 was a strong resistance. It was a strong support and then a strong resistance. So first, let's see a breakthrough 340 and then 350, and then continue this upward pattern. If we see this fizzle out and we start bouncing around here around 3, and we start to see lower highs based off of this move, that might show that this doesn't necessarily have the legs. But I think that this was a nice clean breakout. We had some good volume throughout the day, and we closed pretty strong. It was consistently an upward trending pattern today. As we move it in a little bit closer, you can see we had a little bit of trouble getting above 320 in the high 3 teens. But then eventually, as we closed out the day, we didn't see a whole bunch of sellers dropping the price back down. But it looks as if people are holding, maybe wanting to continue to see this move to the upside, testing 340, and then maybe later 350. So again, those would be the levels that I would look at personally. You might also want to look down here if this thing does start to fade back down. Look at some of these moving averages. Specifically, I would be looking around 310. We have had a lot of trading in that range from back here in the last week of trading. So this is back on Wednesday. Here's Thursday, and then Friday. You can see that's where we opened and sold off. You can see even early this morning we had a little bit of a resistance before pushing through it. So maybe 310 would be a level that you would want to look at on a pullback. Maybe even down here at 305. But again, the more that this thing pulls back, if it does, then the less impressive I see today's move being. So I hope this video was beneficial to you guys. Maybe you're looking at some levels that you hadn't looked at before, and you're really just getting another insight from another trader. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I earned your like, please like the video, or leave a comment on another stock that you would like for me to analyze. But other than that, hey, I'll catch you guys in the next one.